Yeah, this your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa 914, what's the county, New York. I hope everyone had a awesome weekend. I hope everyone had an amazing, fabulous Mother's Day. The women that are truly mothers. Because we got some bitches out here ain't worth a shit. Ain't worth 2 dimes rubbing against each other. Shout out to the chat. This is your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa 914, which is the county of New York. We are in the motherfucking house. Shout out to New York. Shout out to the 5 generations of New Yorkers. Shout out to Wendy Williams. Because I looked at a video that she did on The Masked Singer. The Masked Singer. As she sung the song, Native New Yorker. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. It is what it is. 914, which is the county of New York. I am your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, aka the BT1000, aka Lucy the Vampire, aka the Jeeper Creeper on this shit, aka the German Shepherd and the motherfucking room. Shout out to the room. Shout out to my YouTube creators. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to them. On this channel, on my big channel, on Arabia Barbosa, the Barbosa Co-op channel. Shout out to all of you. It is what the fuck it is. I am tired. I am sleepy as a motherfucker. But I am going to say something about Mother's Day. I'm going to say it. Mother's Day is every fucking day. It's every day. Every day you do something for your children. You cook for them. You clean for them. You training them to take care of themselves. You training them about the school system. And we got a lot of mothers that are very serious about their children going to school. But school can sometimes become boring. Because I remember I was 13 years old. I wanted to drop out of school then. I wanted to drop out of fucking school. I only had another couple of months before I turned 14. I could have worked part-time in New York, working papers. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. The parents that were raising me didn't want me to have working papers. They wanted me to go to school. You know why? Because if I would have collected a certain amount of money, their money would have got cut short. Shout out to the chat. That woman that raised me, oh yeah, child. Let me tell you something about that woman. She raised me to treat my house a certain way. She raised me only to be attached to things I can control. She did not raise me to love. She did not raise me to respect. She did not raise me to do anything. But one of my brothers said, and it was my brother from my mother, my father. We had the same mother, same father, same grandparents, same great-grandparents. We was raised together. He's a little bit younger than me. And he said, baby, I don't mean no harm. They wanted you to be a whore. They wanted you to go the other way. You went into the LGBTQ community. Arabia at that time, you was looking at an avenue for your sex to be changed. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914, which is the county of New York. We are in the motherfucking house. And we're celebrating Mother's Day today. But only for the real mothers. The real mothers. You get pregnant. You carry that child for 9 months. You nurture that child inside your body. You talk to it. You play music. You read. You do whatever positive things so your child will be positive. Your child will be loving. Your child will be accepting of certain things. But some women do not care nothing about their child. And half of the women that get pregnant, they want an abortion. They want an abortion. They can't get an abortion. They can't afford it. So what do? They carry the child for 9 months. What do they do after the 9 months? They live with the child for a little while. Then they get rid of the child. Some women put the baby in a fucking dumpster. Some women leave the baby at the hospital. Some women take the baby to the fire department. Some women take their babies to the police station and say, I can't take care of them. But when you do that, they want your name. They want your address. They want to know. But some of those women that want to give up their children, they want to be anonymous. They don't want the whole world looking at them like they are whatever. Shout out to the chat. One thing I can say about myself, when I was 9 years old, I decided not to have not one child from this body. Not one, because I knew if I wasn't living right, my children was gonna go into the system. I'll be separated from my children. A separation is a death. None of you women know that. The animal kingdom know it. Why don't y'all know it? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the real women that are real mothers. You take care of your children, you get pregnant. You take care of that child while it's growing inside of you. You love on that child while it's growing inside. Because that child is a part of you. I remember a few years ago, I was in prison. Going up for parole. And I seen the mothers that didn't do a whole lot for their children. They were the main one crying, screaming, dressed up like they were church women. There was one woman, same size I was, same height, all that. All that. Her child had a muzzle on his face. Her child had a chain on him. Had the guards looking at him real close. When he didn't make parole, his mother showed out so bad. Her church hat flew off. Her coat flew off. Her gloves went off. Her shoes went everywhere. The woman was screaming and hollering. You know, they had to put her in a holding cell by herself. And then next door, her child did not make parole. He sat across from her. A dude, a black dude, 6'3", over 300 pounds. And he looked at her. He said, Mama, relax yourself. He didn't make parole. Not that year. He did. And he knew why he wasn't making parole. Because his crime was too horrific. And the mother didn't want to accept it. That was one of those women that will, oh, my child is an angel. My child didn't do anything. My child was following someone else. Shout out to the chat. It happens for a lot of you women. I didn't have that luxury. I didn't have it. But one thing I did have was that woman that raised me, she felt that the system, the correctional system, was doing me wrong. She said that's her first crime. That's her first time going down. The judge I went in front of, Judge Schuler. Judge Schuler is my mom in retrospects. A shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914 with the County, New York. I am your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa. And my YouTube creators that went live today, shout out to you. Shout out to your subscribers. Shout out to your day ones. Shout out to your moderators. Shout out to your chat rooms. Shout out to you. It is what it is. 914. And no one owes me a goddamn thing. This life I'm living, I created it. I created my own nightmare. I created my own hell. Whether I die or not. And I looked up, I researched different things, different spiritual belief systems about death, whether it's violent, whether with any other thing. If that person is not clear in their thinking at the time of death, they become a ghost. So I know if I do the wrong thing, I will become a ghost. Attached. Not to people, not to a place, not to different material things. I don't care about material things. I don't care. Because if I cared, I would have a TV. If I cared, I would have did anything for this apartment real close. I never did. Shout out to the chat. And that is the fucking truth. Shout out to my subscribers for sticking with me, for loving me, for supporting this channel. And some of you take pause. You take pause because of my private thoughts or my private feelings. It has nothing to do with you. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here. Y'all have an awesome week. An awesome month. We are in the year of the dragon. I'm working. I'm good. I will always be good. If I'm not, I know how to address it. I don't have no mother. I don't have no father. I don't have no grandparents. I don't have no aunts. I don't have no uncles, cousins, brothers or sisters speaking up for me. My main lawyer, spiritual lawyer, died in 2019. And she was messy as a motherfucker. I was raised in her home. So I know that lawyer was messy. But shout out to her. Shout out to her. Because if it wasn't for her, I'd be sitting in prison right fucking now. And probably wanting to get out into the next 5, almost 10 years. Shout out to my lawyer that raised me. But you was messy with your inheritance. But the other women on YouTube told me, don't take it personal. So I cannot take it personal. Shout out to the chat. And shout out to the real women on YouTube doing their commentary. Shout out to you, because I'm always going to support you. Always. I don't have to mention your name. You know what I do. Shout out to you.